Hello, welcome back to the sofa for Andy Collier-talks cricket memorabilia. Being in virtual lockdown over here, I thought I'd slip in another podcast for you to enjoy. This time we're going to concentrate on probably equally with Bradman, one of Australia's greatest players, and Victor Trumper. Unfortunately, he died in 1915, and we never really know how good he could have been, but he certainly was one of the greatest players. And his contemporaries talked about him as being a fantastic player with all the shots and just great to watch. So to start the collection off was this photograph of Trumper at the Oval, the very famous image, which is probably the most iconic image in cricket history. This one came out of a friend's mother's loft, and when it came out it was virtually green, so as you can see, it's in very reasonable condition now. It's original frame, probably about 1910, but it's not actually signed, unfortunately. It's got Victor Trumper and George Belgium under there, which you don't see very often in the signed version. So I'm just wondering to myself whether this is probably rarer than the signed version. Obviously, the signed version is more sought after, but this one, I've not seen another one that's unsigned. So if anybody out there can give me any indication if they've got an unsigned copy, original copy, please leave a comment at the end of the podcast, and we can add to the history of it. So that's my collected version of the famous image of Trumper. Another one here is which looks fantastic against the backdrop of the picture, actually. It's a Victor Trumper model, with, I think it was by Chris Saunders. He'd done some with silver and bronze as well. This one's number 27 of 50, and you can see clearly there his glove on his right hand, and he didn't really wear two gloves, and also didn't really have a rubber on his hand on the back. So quite an unusual way to play the game, but he obviously found that as a good one. And so there's a couple of cards here. I've got some other ones, but this is a pictorial postcard, 1905 with Victor in there. I've got a pair of these pads in my collection, not Victor Trumpers obviously, but still very interesting. I picked them up from a pub in Oxford when they were on display, so that's quite an interesting thing. And then there's this stamp which was issued by the Philatelic Sales Centre, Australia, with a bit of a caricature of Trumper and the stamp, which is 35-cent stamp on the postcard there. So that's about 1990, I think, that lot there that was produced. So quite a nice image, that one. My only signature of Victor Trumper is on this full set of 1909 signatures, which is a fantastic thing, and it's an original frame. It's the signatures are surrounding a newspaper clipping of the scorecard at Lord's, June 1909, when Ransford got 100, and did get 142, I think it is, on there. So that's a lovely image there, and I'm pretty sure this would have been presented to Ransford for his memorable 100 at Lord's. You don't get 100 at Lord's very often, so that's quite a nice addition to my collection. I've actually had that for probably 10 years now, so it's done well. It's a fantastic thing. Lovely clear signatures, and my only signature Trumper. But recently I've purchased this album, which is a facsimile of Victor Trumper's album presented to him by the manager of the tour, Frank Laver. This is number 44/200, this one, which is actually fantastic facsimile edition. There's the boys leaving Sydney on the ship, the Orontes, and a few other pictures there. This is going just on the Suez Canal there, which is nice. Absolutely fantastic. I think they repaired some of the photographs that were fairly badly damaged, but you can see they turned out quite well. This is Lord's And the lovely photograph there of period costume in there. All the ladies dressed in, or most of them dressed in white with their hat on, which is a great image. Henry Regatta there. And then there's some more. That's that one there, which is a famous image. Actually, it's been shown a few times, which is King Edward's bull, which is a big old bull. I think it was taken down somewhere near Sussex, in Sussex somewhere. Then there's a few photographs there of the Oval Test match, which is a nice images on that one. So that is actually a fantastic, another well-known picture there with him and his goat taxi. So that's a nice picture. So that has been a fantastic addition to my collection. So number 44 200. So if I can recommend, if you ever have a chance of buying one of these, just fork out a little bit more than you thought you might have to, and that'd be a great addition to your collection as well. So I might write up about that for the Cricket Memorabilia Society magazine, perhaps. It was John Hawkins who had the original Victor Trumper album, and then he also had it produced in a series of 200 by Chris Saunders. So fantastic addition to the collection. So I hope you've enjoyed that. So if you can leave a comment or whatever, particularly about the this photograph, if you know anybody who's got an unsigned one, that'd be great to know. Even a signed one would be fantastic, so I can include that and get a bit more history on the photograph. So I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully we won't be in lockdown for too long, but at least you've got some Sunday lunch to look forward to. So I'll see you on the next one.